Hello, 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 everyone. This is Dave Jose. I'm happy to see you guys on a chilly Monday afternoon in what used to be hot Buckeye, Arizona. One of y'all must have left the AC on. It's freezing and raining. What the heck is going on here? But I thought I'd get back with you guys. We have some important business to handle. I see a lot of people stressing the freak out over this dumb Texas case. I'm kind of frustrated because I've shown you guys so many times how to look at these cases, and I spoke to people over and over today, and I said, "Hey guys, did y'all read the case? Did y'all read the case? Did y'all read the case?" Um, and people keep saying, "Oh my gosh, we lost the Texas. The Supreme Court threw us under the bus." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Did anybody read the case? Anybody read the case? Anybody read the case?" Right? And so what happens is, guys, we end up stressed out and acting ignorantly over situations that are dumb, like really dumb. I'm not calling anybody dumb. I'm just saying the situation is dumb. Guys, look, let's just understand what the freak is happening here. The attorneys and government officials we deal with often do the cases wrong on purpose to make you feel like you lost. They act like they're attacking something. They use the wrong laws, kind of like the Kerry Lake case. They act like they're going after something and they call it election fraud. And then it ends up dumb. Why? It ends up dumb because they say something happened that didn't happen, or they argue against something that's ignorant that you can't prove, and then people they lose the dang case, and then people think something happened. So it's just utterly freaking ridiculous. So I'm going to ask you guys to listen up closely. Hey, Big Pilsner, you up in the top? Can you get your is your mic working? And I tried to invite up Riley. I tried to invite up a couple of people in personam jurisdiction. I want to settle this for you guys really quickly. Now, those of us who are in the private groups on Telegram together, those of us, okay, he can't read out loud. Riley, can you please send the document for the court case to somebody else who can read out loud so we could hear this really quickly and get this over with? And everybody, please share this space. I'm going to do this for you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to not stress. I want you guys to do the right things to fight, and I don't want you to get your behind whooped by bad actors who are breaking the law. Is there somebody who can read? Do we have a good, decent, moderate rate reader or speed reader who can join up in this mother? Turn this mother up. Da, 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 da. All right. So we go. Oh wait, we go try to make Jill a co-host. I've tried to invite a whole bunch of people on, and it wouldn't let me get them on. So we'll see if it let Jill come up. Can somebody please get the document from Pilsner so we can look at the dang case and stop guessing all the time, guys? This is so bad. We are the best in the nation, and we continue to guess. I hate this. I hate this. And for those who would keep posting this in the group, I'm really highly not happy. Not that I'm mad at you, but I'm just saying we cannot continue to do foolish things, right? We cannot continue to do foolish things, not read what it is that we're looking at, right? And just say, oh my gosh, the Supreme Court beat us. No, they freaking didn't. The Supreme Court didn't do a dang thing to Texas. It is a 100% guaranteed hoax. All right. Is there anybody who could open their mic up?
I can, Dave. Since if
Okay.
if there's no if there's a guy that wants to chime in, they're more than welcome. I mean, but I certainly will. I'm right here and ready. Just tell me what I need to read,
Do
sir.
you have that case in front of you?
Let me see.
I
And
tried
you
to give it
put it.
to I tried to give it to in personam jurisdiction too, but I don't know if
Did
he's able to get the co-host.
did you put it in Connect We, right? Is that the one you're talking of?
I think Pilsner put it in there. Pilsner always drops all the stuff really fast and nicely.
Yeah. Let's
He really
see.
looks up the stuff, you know?
I didn't get into that yet, so I don't have that link. So I'm searching desperately for it.
You
Yeah,
did. You sent it earlier.
I don't think. Okay.
I saw it. I saw it in the group. You dropped the smoke in there. Oh no, that was Dan.
Dan,
Yeah.
okay, I see it. Is it
I'm
the
sorry.
Supreme
Please forgive me.
Court?
Yes,
Supreme
Scott's
Court
blog.
docket?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh wait, is it? Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah. Hang tight for me. I'll let you know here. I'll look it up and we'll see if this is the right one.
Oh no, not the docket. It's the document below that.
Oh, the document below that. Okay.
Yeah, Scott's blog. Court allows Border Patrol to cut razor wire. Now, guys, I want you to understand how serious this is. Just not understanding a couple of words can get your anus toe up real fast. Should have been, oh wait, nope, that's not it. There is a 96-page document that I just saw. I was just reading a second ago. Let me see. And it was the court case information. I thought that was you, Pilsner, that posted it, though. I sent pictures from it as well.
Yeah, I see the pictures, but I've got the link. I'm trying to post it, but my phone's not letting me do it
Can you
for
just
some
send it
reason.
through Telegram to Jill?
Yes, sir.
You the bomb. And I don't mean to wake y'all up late for this, but so many people are concerned and worried. See, guys, this is what happens though when people start saying, "Oh, our nation is over with," and oh my gosh, the World Health Organization gonna get us, and this, that, and the other, and then we don't read the real situation, what's really happening. We get in trouble.
Okay. I see the one that Pilsner just sent, and it is the same one that is talking about the court allows Border Patrol to cut Texas
Yeah.
wire.
Now,
It's a
is it an
okay.
article or a case?
It looks like it's an article, and let's see. Yeah, it's a blog.
Oh my gosh!
It's SCOTUS blog.
I
Okay.
just clicked on
So
the case and read it from somebody, and I put pictures up so everybody can see it.
yeah, and I've seen the pictures too, but you want the full
Wait, I
case
think I
probably,
just saw it.
right?
Oops. Where is it? Sorry, guys. Darn it. I literally just had it in front of my face.
Yeah, it should be down below, Dave. And I
Okay.
threw it in
Riley.
Telegram.
Oh, yeah, Riley put
Okay,
it
I
up.
think I have
Yeah.
it here. Yeah, Riley just put it in there.
Okay,
So
that's it.
thank you,
That's the
Riley. I'm
1396.
seeing
Thank
it.
you, Big Riley. I appreciate you, bro.
Mhm.
All right, so y'all see
Yeah.
where it says party to proceeding, related proceedings. Then can you see where it starts with the case and it says pursuant to Rule 23? Okay,
Yes.
can you start reading there so everybody can hear this? This is outrageous.
Okay. So this is Department of Homeland Security applicants versus State of Texas. Okay. So pursuant to Rule 23 of the rules of this court and the All Writs Act 28 USC 1651, the Solicitor General, on behalf of applicants, United States Department of Homeland Security et al., respectfully applies for vacatur of the injunction pending appeal issued on December 19, 2023 by the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. This case concerns Texas attempts to invoke its state tort law to enjoin federally authorized activities of Border Patrol agents at the border.
The Texas dang government is trying to get them for authorized activities that the legislature said, yeah, when you're dealing with people coming into the country, the freaking feds can go arrest them on your land if we see them. Okay? So what they're doing is trying to use their Tort Claims Act in order to go after the Fed for touching their stuff. All right, let's read so we can see if I'm telling the truth.
So I'll continue. Federally authorized activities of Border Patrol agents
Okay,
at the
so
border.
pay attention, what they're fighting for is federally authorized activities. Guys, can you tell somebody they can't do a federally authorized activity? If you authorize the activity for government to do it to handle business, can you tell them, let's have a fight over what you were authorized to do, guys? I mean, let's go.
No.
Okay.
If rights are involved.
Well, it won't be because there's no such thing of a federally authorized activity that is supposed to go against somebody's rights. And if it did, you should make a claim that way. But why would you make a claim saying, I'm just trying to make sure they don't touch my stuff when they're doing activities that they're allowed to do in the government? Is that really what the argument should be about? Yeah, making the purposeful wrong argument. All right, let's keep going so we can see this for ourselves. Y'all gonna fall out when y'all hear this.
Okay. It continues along a 29-mile stretch of the Rio Grande. Texas sued the United States, claiming that federal Border Patrol agents in Eagle Pass were committing conversion and trespass to chattels, or is that how you say that?
Chattels.
Chattels.
So chattels
Excuse me.
means our
Chattels.
stuff. Like your property, women and children used to be considered chattel back in the day. So what they're literally saying is, you took your anus on our property and touched our stuff. That's their case. You touched our wire. Is that really what the freak is happening in America right now? Somebody's just touching our wire. See, guys, when they want to give the bad actors a win, they argue the wrong dumb stuff so they could tell you they got precedence now. We can touch all y'all stuff in every state. Because, yeah, that's dumb. Utterly freaking dumb. And I'm not going to stay on the space long so people can share this and we can realize what these dirty clowns are doing. Let's read some more.
Okay. Conversion and trespass to chattels or chattels, excuse me, under chattels under Texas law, when in the course of performing their federal duties, they disturb roles
in the course of doing their federal duties. Right. They're touching our chattels, and we're using the state chattel law. Dum-dums. All right, let's keep going.
They disturbed rolls of razor wire fencing that Texas placed near the bank of the river.
Why the freak would you argue over them touching your freaking rolls of wire?
Right.
Y'all see how stupid this is? They touch my stuff. Right? That's like a police officer chasing somebody who just got done shooting somebody, and he tackles them on your grass, and you say, he moved my fence a little bit to jump and tackle the guy. That's an authorized duty to chase down criminals and even to go on private land if you see him go there. Really? Are we going to really play this dumb junk? Really? This is infuriating how stupid it is. All right, let's keep going.
The district court denied a preliminary injunction.
Of course they denied an injunction because the law tells your anus that they can do this dumb junk. But let's keep going.
But the Fifth Circuit issued an injunction pending appeal that, subject to only a narrow exception, prohibits Border Patrol agents from cutting or moving Texas's wire barriers that physically block agents from accessing the international border and reaching migrants who have already entered U.S. territory. Okay. That injunction is manifestly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing, federal law unambiguously grants Border Patrol agents.
So remember, we talked about ambiguous law, how it's null and void, but the federal law unambiguously allows federal agents to do what?
It allows the agents authority without a warrant to access private land within 25 miles of the international border, 8 USC 1357A3, as well as to interrogate and arrest anyone who in their presence or view is entering or attempting to enter the United States in violation of any law.
In
And
your
it's like,
presence or view, you can go grab them. It's kind of like saying somebody is robbing your neighbor in your presence and in your view, you have the right to step in and arrest them. It's that freaking simple. But they're
and
playing.
is,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
no, it's fine. And is likely to abscond or abscond. I'm not sure how to say that.
Abscond means to run and hide somewhere in the nation where you can't find them. They're allowed to go arrest them and interrogate them. No big deal, right? Right?
Right.
Now, let's keep going.
8 USC 1357A12. Federal law further deems those who are present in the United States without having been admitted or paroled applicants for admission with certain statutory rights. 8 USC 1225A1 provides for federal officials to inspect such applicants. 8 USC 1225A3 and authorizes federal agents to arrest and detain non-citizens pending a removal decision, 8 USC 1226A.
Okay, now
Under,
notice they're using United States code to give them a pass to do wrong, right? And notice they say, "Oh, we got the right to give them admission if we want to give them one if they can actually pass the requirements, right?" Okay, can y'all see what the problem is here? Can anybody see that this is freaking ridiculously stupid and wrong what they did in order to try to stop them from doing this? Because notice they're going after the federally authorized behavior, right? All right. Would y'all now like me to make this easy for you guys? Where you guys can write a notice and fix it? Anybody want me to make it easy? Let me know if
yes,
y'all want me to just
please.
make it easy. Okay,
Yes, please.
guys, what's really happening is there's a federal program where the federal government is making money off of all these people. For every dollar that they spend, they get money too, and the local municipalities. So what needs to happen is it needs to be addressed as not a federally authorized behavior, but an invasion. They're allowing people to come into our country unlawfully by the thousands upon thousands, which is an invasion. They're encouraging an invasion, and they're running a program on the side where they have a conflict of interest, where they don't have a reason to stop the invasion. This is not going after somebody who's doing lawfully authorized behavior. All you got to do is put in where in any state constitution did we grant authority to the government to allow an invasion of our country by unlawfully entering people. You got to be stupid if you'll put in there these people are breaking into America, but they might be lawfully coming here. Shut the freak up. If they're breaking into America, they are not lawful. Therefore, it's encouraging an invasion for a benefit where you have unclean hands. You can't make a decision with clean hands if your dumb anus is getting money from the people who come over here. Y'all see this? When they give them thousands of dollars and a cell phone, that's an invasion. You're aiding enemies, you're aiding unlawful people, and you're spending our money without authorization to do so. Where in any state or federal constitution did it say you could take the people's money and give it to people unlawfully entering the country? Show me one. We should not be using United States code and their dumb permissions to let them out of some ignorant thing where they're letting people in the country. Guys, this is what's called an invasion. Article 4, Section 4 says that the United States government shall protect the people against invasion. Invasion, right? This is an invasion. So why the freak would you be suing people over their lawfully protected duties with one of your dumb statutes? Y'all see how simple this is? So when people tell you the Supreme Court made the wrong decision, no, they absolutely made the right decision. If your dumb anus said, yeah, well, we want to sue them because they touched our stuff. Well, stupid, the dang law says they could touch your stuff if they see the person. They're purposely seeing the people walk in, right? so they can arrest them on your land. But the problem is they're allowing people to cross the border unlawfully without even trying to stop them because they want the invasion. That's the difference. They get paid money off of the programs. They get to take kids that are being trafficked at the border and sell them to the highest bidder. Let's stop being silly, y'all. We got to read the cases. Don't just freaking play games where you hear some bad news, right? The Bible talks about speaking on those things which are pure, of good report, praiseworthy, holy. How in the freak are we continuing to listen to these dumb stories when we know darn well that the law tells us that these people can't do this stuff? And we hear a bad story, and before checking it and blowing this junk out of the water, we start allowing people to hurt everybody with how bad the Supreme Court sold us out. Guys, right now, the wicked are looking for a win because God has let us destroy the ATF. God is knocking down the Trump stuff. God is knocking down a ton of stuff. He saved us with the OSHA stuff. He saved us with the UAW mandates. And now the wicked, who all the scholars were saying, the Supreme Court won't give us any wins. They're going against the administrative state. God has given us the victory, and these dumb clowns need you to cry and be scared about some stupid junk where they didn't follow the law. What about making notice to the idiots in the dang Texas who made this stupid freaking case? Right? They touch our stuff. Man, get your anus out of here with that dumb junk. This is a freaking invasion, homie. Cut it out. Right? So the thing is, guys, would I give an injunction to these people with this dumb argument? Heck no. You can't look, I just gave y'all some with Trump that says uh you cannot make guilt for those who are doing obeying what the freaking law says. So how the freak you gonna get a lesser law and try to check the Fed over a higher law, and then what they're permitted to do, and then have some nerve to put that junk in a court case when the state constitutions and the federal have higher protections than that garbage, and they don't use it. So I want you guys to think on this and not take people's word for it. When people say crazy stuff, oh gosh, we're so in trouble. The WEF is about to destroy us. When people told me the WEF was going to destroy us, I started laughing. I said, oh, that's cute. And we dropped a notice on them and we saw them flip and change. So why the freak are we taking this stupid junk and thinking, oh yeah, well, we're in trouble. We're doomed. What are we going to do now? We can't be like that, y'all. We got to stand firm in what God has allowed us to see. God has given us knowledge and wisdom, and He did it for a reason. And just like the Bible tells us with wrong teaching that we should be not we shouldn't be tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. The Bible tells us we should not fear. The Bible tells us the fear of man is a snare. Every time we start pumping out their dumb junk when it's really nothing, what we do is we open the door for people to fear. That's what they want. They want fear. They want doubt. They want people to not know. This is why they don't play our stuff on the news. They don't show we're blowing the back out of the freaking the ATF. They don't do it because they don't want us to know that uh, we are mighty and powerful by God. What were you saying, Riley? Please talk to me.
Yeah, so they were. I searched the whole document, and 6 times they used the word Constitution. One of them, they talked about the Supremacy Clause,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like they may be construing it in a
So
certain
what are
manner.
they saying about the supremacy clause?
It makes federal law, quote, the supreme law of the land, end
Is
quote.
that what it did?
That's what it says. It's
Can
being
somebody
construed.
can somebody open up what they're talking about when they say the supremacy clause?
No, they cite Article 6, Clause 2.
Can somebody open it, please?
Article 6, Clause 2. Jehovah.
Anybody got it pulled up? Y'all gotta excuse my massage gun. Don't get mad.
That sounded like a boa constrictor.
That's some good fire right there. Hey, when you got heavy stress, this is good. Anybody got the supremacy clause? Anybody here?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I got Article 6 up, but I don't see no supremacy clause.
It's not called supremacy clause in the words.
I got it.
Let's read it.
You got it, Riley, or you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof.
Wait, what did it say?
In pursuance thereof.
What did it say?
In pursuance thereof.
What did it say?
This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof.
Keep going.
And all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding.
Okay. Go to Article 4, Section 4, please.
It says, the United States shall guarantee.
Guarantee. Is that a if you want to?
No, sir.
Okay. To what?
Every state in this union a republican form of government. And shall protect each of them against invasion.
Against what?
Invasion.
Against touching our stuff?
No.
Oh, okay. Against invasion.
Right.
Holy moly.
So what Texas should have said is, hey, we have a contract with you guys where you're supposed to protect against invasion. Rather than dispute over some little quibbling rules.
I don't give a freak about you touching my fence. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution is higher than any federal statute. So if your dumb anus can't do an invasion, can't allow for an invasion to happen, you shouldn't be helping the invasion.
Right.
So point blank period, you guarantee that, right? So if you guaranteed it already, why am I arguing with you over stuff other than what the freak you said you weren't going to do in your highest contract?
So Dave.
Yes, sir.
I actually posed this question on Twitter to a guy that's running for governor up here in New Hampshire. Tell me if I'm on the right track, because he talked about the border. He talked about caring about the border. So I said, U.S. Constitution Article 6 already admits that New Hampshire Constitution is valid against it. In New Hampshire Constitution 1.7 talks about how we enjoy every jurisdiction, every power, sovereign, all this kind of stuff. And we have a contract with the feds, Part 4, Article 4, to protect against invasion. So how about if you run for governor, will you lead the legislature to reaffirm or deal with, saying to the feds, hey, since you're in breach of contract, we're going to make New Hampshire a sanctuary state for anybody who doesn't want to pay federal taxes anymore until you guys fix this invasion on the border that you're in breach of contract on.
Well, you can get rid of every program and everything action that the Fed wants to do for not following their contract. Look at finish reading Article 4, Section 4 real quick.
And shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive.
Of what?
The legislature. Or the executive.
So the freaking governor or the freaking legislature can do it.
Right.
So he ain't got to beg the legislature. He could tell the legislature, but he could take his anus in there and blow their back out immediately. There would be no more federal programs or nothing in our state if your dumb anus will not do what the freak you're supposed to do. Period. Now. Now, to prove that we can do this, go to Arizona Constitution, Article 2, Section 3. Sorry, yeah, Article 2, Section 3. Please forgive me. And you got to look at Ballotpedia because the state website don't show this on purpose because they don't want us to know we got this much power. But I'll show y'all some real deal Holyfield fire. Oh, and as a matter of fact, not only can the legislature do it or the governor, but the people can do it too. I'm gonna show y'all some real smoke right here. This is
You
gonna be
said
some earth-shattering stuff.
you said Article 2, Section 3.
Arizona, Article 2, Section 3 on Ballotpedia.
Supreme law of the land, authority to
Okay, so they say the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, right?
Yeah,
Okay, well let's see.
I didn't even read the Section 3 title. It's titled Supreme Law of the Land.
Oh yeah, we about to see some gangster smoke now though. Keep going.
Authority to exercise sovereign authority against federal action.
Against what?
I think it says federal action.
So we got sovereign authority in the state to go against federal action? Oh.
In every state. Yeah.
Oh, nobody told us that. Oh, let's see some more.
Against federal action, use of government personnel and financial resources.
So you can't touch our personnel of the state or resources to do what?
The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land to which all government, state, and federal is subject.
Mm-hmm.
B, to protect the people's freedom and to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution.
To protect our freedom.
This state may exercise its sovereign authority.
This state can exercise its sovereign authority. Now, when it say this state, who the freak is it talking about? The government? Let's keep going.
To restrict the actions of its person.
You can restrict the actions of the state personnel.
And the use of its financial resources.
And any of its money.
To purposes that are consistent with the Constitution by doing any of the following.
So all these programs where these dumb idiots are in the state doing federal programs with Texas, bringing people in, giving them money from Social Security program, everybody getting paid from the state to the county to the freaking Fed. And they ain't telling y'all. Keep going.
Yeah. One, passing an initiative or referendum pursuant to Article 4.
So you can pass initiative or referendum. What else?
Passing a bill pursuant to Article 4, Part 2, and Article 5, Section 7. Or 3, pursuing any other available legal remedy.
Including, you could just rewrite your whole state constitution and stop the Fed altogether from being able to come in and do that dumb job. Period. You can actually rewrite the Fed too, but keep going. Let's see what else it says.
See, if the people or their representatives.
If the what?
The people or the representatives.
Not just the representatives? You ain't got to beg the legislature?
No, the people.
What role? If the people
exercise their authority pursuant to this section, this state and all political subdivisions of this state are prohibited from using any personnel or financial resources to enforce, administer, cooperate with the designated federal action or program.
Ouch! So the federal government won't be able to partner with the state or political subdivisions anymore in doing any federal program, meaning take your kids, do some COVID lockdown jump where they're making all this money, doing any border program where the state workers and the county officers are helping them bring people in and shipping them around in buses and stuff to different parts of the state and then to other states. You wouldn't be able to do none of it or make any money off of it?
Not if we studied.
Holy moly, man. Can you believe that's in the Constitution or in a Constitution as a right of the people, already before this even happened?
I can now.
Holy moly. People arguing over the border in Arizona, right? But they don't realize the people got the ability to kill every program they got. See, if we didn't have people like Professor Clements and, some of those other clowns purposely trying to block regular real people who are not agents like Dave, Chocolate Brother Jose, who loves y'all enough to tell y'all what it says in your own documents so you can get remedy, you realize y'all could have fixed this whole thing already, stopped all the COVID lockdowns, shut down everything else, made the government not take your kids' houses, dogs, and anything else in some federal program or some federal partnership to arrest you for stupid stuff. And literally the nation could have been better already because it's already written in the dang text. Can you imagine that?
I get stuck in this sort of transactional thinking where like, how? My next thought is like, well, how do we do that?
Well, it is blanket and open because the law says we can do whatever we wish to do if we see ourselves in danger. Virginia Constitution. Let me ask you this. Let's make it easy. How did they do it in 1776?
With their boots, with
No,
their minds. I
then
mean,
they
they
just
just did it.
Didn't they just write it down on paper? We declare that you guys are divorced from us and you suck, and you know your providing game was weak anyway.
Yeah, we just did it.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, dude, we got irreconcilable differences. Get your anus out of here. You're no longer part of us. We're America now. Get lost. Right? See, the thing is that our minds have been made to think in such sophisticated ways that we can't see simplicity. Right? How does a woman who's getting beat up by a man stop being with him? Right? Is the first step to come up with some sophisticated idea and learn how to use the law to stop being with him? Or is it literally get your keys right, when he ain't looking, go run to the car, turn the car on, and drive as far away as you can, and then make provisions for yourself to be able to sustain after that? Right? Put distance between you two, right? Now, remember, we own this country. It belongs to us. So how do we put distance between us and bad government actors? We literally come together as the people and say, we don't wish to have these servants who aren't serving us anymore. Literally.
Amen.
Right? Now, our law actually says when the government is inadequate, the people have the right to assemble and create new safeguards for their protection at any time. Literally, when they don't follow the ways of elections, which led to this, we can literally just stop altogether and say, you know what, we don't really want to use these servants anymore because they're dangerous for us. They're in the danger of maladministration. We need to rewrite new constitutions, remove all the seats, and let them know, sorry, we don't want to work with y'all no more. Y'all got to go home. We'll pick new people. But this ain't going to work the way it is. Right? Now, your forefathers divorced the whole king. Now you own the government. The people who are servants are your indentured servants, and we are afraid because we have the fear of man to come together peacefully and say we no longer want these people serving us. Now, some people say, well, how many people do we need? It won't take that much because we got the internet. If we all realize at the same time that there's an option to not work with these people and put that as the forefront of the fight, rather than saying, can we look at a documentary and some dude with some hair that looks like Moses, right? And put him in front of everybody and we look for him to save us. Oh, no. Can we just see if some man is going to come with a white hat and save us? No. If we stopped all the foolishness and said, look, we just really don't want the corruption in our nation to fall, we need to come together and start talking about it, you realize people would come, right? Like people who wanted Trump in office, that's not even people who, the number of people in America who are mad at the disservice they're doing to us now. The people in a Trump rally stretched, I think they said it was 80 miles. 80 miles. I can't even fathom that. But understand, guys, that 3% of the people in America is enough to turn America back right and remove all these bad actors. Literally. Prohibition, 3%. Saving America from a king, 3%. Not everybody, just 3%. And the thing is, a lot of people say, well, Dave, that seems like a lot of people. You literally don't start because you're worried about the number of people you have at the beginning. When I started teaching the law, it was me. And that was it. And now we've won in thousands of situations, and thousands of people are sitting in notices, and we're seeing the Supreme Court do what we tell them to do. But notice when a dumb state does a case, guys, we've been getting the Supreme Court to do the right stuff with the fundamental law. These dummies are trying to get the dang Fed to say, we want to use our state law to tell you you can't use the federal law, even though we all agree that the federal law that has to deal with certain issues like safety to the people, that's going to be first when it comes to federal statute compared to state statute. So we're going to use our state statute to say you can't mess with our stuff. That's dumb. What about your federal contract says you can't allow for invasion? You got to protect each state. And if your dumb anus don't do it, you're nullifying all of your power. If we're getting invaded right now, the whole Fed is saying they agree to us just removing them all. Now, that doesn't mean you got to physically remove anybody. If the people come together today and decide we don't want your services anymore, guys, they're not going to be able to tell us no. They're not going to be able to say, no, we're going to just rule over you. Remember, none of them are gangster enough to say, we're your master and you serve us. They don't do that. It's the figment of your imagination that makes you think, well, they got guns and power and all this. Yeah, well, I heard that in France when people just went out and the police started joining them. They did it in a way that's different because they don't have the power we have. In America, every government official belongs to us. Fighting against us is a crime. So when we say peaceably, we don't want your services anymore, they got to move. And they know that. And I promise you, none of them are going to say, I'm your king, you better get back in your place. That don't exist in America. And if it did, let me help you understand. Like the people who get arrested in government for pedophilia and stuff, and I always say this, they get arrested when they get caught secretly raping a kid. They don't get caught openly saying, we're going to just rape your kids because we want to, because we're your masters, right? Why don't they do that? Because they fear the people, plain as day, right? So that's why they try to groom your kids and tell them about this certain study hour where they got some dudes in dresses and other stuff dancing with their private parts hanging out. They do it that way because they're trying to groom over time. They're not trying to take it right now because they know you ain't gonna have it. And because they know you ain't gonna have it, they don't come out and try to tell you what they're doing because they fear you, right? So when the people come together, your fear of how long it'll take or your doubts and your silly junk, right? We have the Supreme Court moving, and Jason Fick's attorney who fights in the Supreme Court told me, he said, dang, Dave, I have never seen anything like this, but I see the notices you're writing. And me and my friend, another attorney, we're in DC sitting down saying, man, what is going on that's making the Supreme Court flip like this? I don't get it. As soon as we showed him the notices in a 3-hour conversation, dude was like, man, I learned more in 3 hours than I learned in my 16 years of school, my 3 years of school and 16 years of practicing. He said that in front of Josh Barnett and Jason Fick. So, guys, I'm trying to let y'all know that we're worried about the wrong things. And the Bible tells you the fear of man is a snare. Because you get fearful of somebody not wanting you to stand on your rights, you don't do it, right? But you can't say, I want to stand on a contract that's my right, but I'm so fearful I'm not going to stand on it and think that you're going to get anywhere. That's a hoax. That's not real life, guys. That's not really doing what our forefathers did. Our forefathers were willing to put their life, their fortune, their sacred honor on the line in order to keep their America the way they want it to be for their posterity. Before America was America, they put everything on the line. Now, guys, we're in a way, way, way better position because they put it in paper that, hey, we the people own this thing and we can change it at will. Don't play with us. If we don't want your services, you could go bye-bye, right? So our forefathers were smart enough to say that. So if that is the case, guys, why are you doubting your ability to be something great when God is on the good people's side? God is on the side of the people who are not oppressing other people. Why are you worshiping or praising or magnifying your enemy. The Bible says to magnify the name of the Lord. We're winning in front of your face. Look, we ain't got about 100 people here right now in the middle of the dang night because we losing. We got 100 people here right now because we're freaking winning, and you know it, and you can testify to it because people who've been your friends way longer than they've been my friend have won, right? A lot of y'all came from Jaron. Y'all saw Jaron win. He didn't even know me like that. He started studying and learning. He got wins. Can't nobody deny that. He ain't gonna lie for me, right? Those of you in New Hampshire who got government officials talking in front of your face and saying what we the people say when people told us they won't listen, you're witnessing that. This ain't no hoax. This ain't no funny business. You guys are seeing the unthinkable happen every day, and God used the least of people, the least of circumstances to show the blessing. This ain't no fake jump. So you got to get it in your mind and heart where you want to stand and what you want to be. Do you want to be a failure and a loser and give up because some man is saying something or doing something you don't like and you think he has power? Or do you want to stand on what God says, trust in him, trust in that which is written and use it and not play this game? I'm going to open up to Mike. Go ahead, Big Alec. You got to unmute, Alec.
Yeah, bro.
How you living?
Yeah, man. I just want to piggyback on what you were just saying because, it's like that's that Joshua. I think it's 23:10, where it says, "Man can chase 1,000," right? And,
Ooh.
and then I'm always thinking about that because I'm like, yeah, there's not that many government servants, so we got more than enough just in the groups that you have alone to move the whole government, man. I'm just doing the math, like that's that God math. And then, it just makes me super excited because I know what we have in the future. It's just like saying right now, man, is just to get the people on the same page, bro. Because
Yes.
they're so shook of, like just the past, man. It's almost like, what is that elephant, where you tie the elephant and
Oh,
then they train
yeah.
the elephant. Yeah, it just reminds me of that right now, man.
When we use the peaceful law, bro, and we just show it, there's more government officials who will be shocked at the fact that we know this and they can see it in writing and that they haven't been doing it. Is so many that the big actors and bad actors, guys, in government, and the bad actors who have trained them, they didn't teach enough people or buy off enough people to be able to stop them from wanting to do right. So literally, we're looking at a situation where we're like, oh man, they're so big. No, they only paid so many people to do wrong. They didn't think they needed everybody. So when you start showing the truth, it stops all the foolishness. Go ahead, Big Pilsner.
Yeah, I mean, everything that we run into when we get it wrong, it's like we're believing what the bar attorneys have built on sand. It's the foundation is always sand, and then we see the building on top that they're constructing. It's just a bunch of it's on a foundation of lies. And then when you show us, no, wait a minute, the foundation's over here where the founders put it. They built it out of rock on God's. And then you go, whoa, it's like this. It's like a mirror and smoke that's been put over us, so we can't. When you when you just go, okay, here, let me just move this smoke out of the way and look behind the mirror. Here it is. It's right here, and it's written not in lawyerese. It's written in plain language so that we the people can. And it's such deprogramming needs to happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We all have the power to do it. It's just we haven't been talking that much. So, we've talked to the people we talk to, and it gives us so much victory. We got to talk to more if we want more victory. It's that simple, right? We have focused on a lot of stuff that people say that we looked up to, right? And we say, oh yeah, they say trust the plan, hold on. They say somebody's gonna come fix it. Just be cool, it's gonna happen, right? And the thing is that we're spending our time not getting things done and right because we're waiting on somebody else to do it when we could literally say, you know what? Let's just tie our shoes up, get to work, go speak to people at the gas station, speak to people at the grocery store. If we said we're going to teach 3 people a week each, 5 people a week each, we could grow in massive numbers, exponentially. We're going to teach 3 to teach 3. We're going to teach 5 to teach 5. We're going to teach 7 to teach 7. It would blow this thing apart so fast it'd be unbelievable. But we wait because we look and we say, oh my gosh, well, I don't know if I could teach that many people. I don't know if I got that many friends. I don't know if it's going to be able to happen. So maybe I should wait and see before I do anything, whatever, right? No, that's not how you do it. You got to get your anus up, decide to put in the freaking work when there ain't nobody watching with you, right? Don't go to the same old dead-minded people who hate on you for doing what you do with everything else. Go to the people who want to know. Go to the people who want to understand. Put the fillers out and let people come to you and teach them. But we can do this dang thing. Like I told y'all, I didn't have thousands and thousands of people in groups. I didn't have enough people to do 6,000, 7,000, 10,000, 15,000 notices before. God gave that to me in a very short amount of time. Very short amount of time. This is what we got to do if we want things to happen, right? And we got enough people who have enough understanding about what the law says to decide to go after these things if we want to. But it's a choice, right? And we can definitely do it. Guys, if God can start with me and we could be so big now and we can see so many wins, what in the world do you think is going to happen when all of us start putting it out? Look at what Chris does and how many people come after what he teaches and follows. How many follows him, right? Look at how many government officials follow him. God did a new thing, right? Some of us have not bitten in and dug in and used our skills for real. God had brought every person in here with a skill, with certain talent, with the ability to be able to share stuff well, ability to be able to speak well, ability to be able to lead well, ability to open people's eyes. And we ain't been using it. Let's just be real. We use it some. We ain't just say like, I'm going to make this my baby, my project, and I'm going to go at it like I ain't never go at nothing before. Did we really do that? Let's be real. Are we really doing that? That's where the change happens. Skylar, holla at me.
Hey,
Hey.
I think I'm cutting in line. I think
It is what it is. Just jump on in.
Okay.
We'll get Riley next.
Okay. I totally agree with what you were saying about being confident about what we know and what we're doing. This is so foreign, it seems like, to everybody that I talk to about it, because I DoorDash. Every time I go into a restaurant, if I have a second, I ask the person at the register, I said, what kind of government do we have? There's two answers I get, that it's crap or that it's a democracy, and it blows my mind. And so everywhere I go, I'm at least reinforcing no, this is a constitutional republic. I like to ask people, well, where can you find your rights? Oh, the Constitution. Okay, great. How many are there? And I have been meeting with a group of people who are aligned with this, and we have come up with a plan to speak to a local church here. I got with the pastor today about setting up constitutional classes in between morning and evening worship services. I'm super excited about that, but I'm a little bit weary. I feel like the people around me are putting a little bit of fear in me. To a degree, I think that's healthy, because when you get what ifs, you can gain more knowledge and become more prepared. And at a certain point, it is lacking faith a little bit. I have questions about steps.
Okay, let's make it easy. So first of all, you should have flyers or something on paper written about in the constitutions that you know of in the constitutions. You can start off in your own state. First thing you need to do is go into your state constitution. What state are you in?
Texas.
Okay, and it says in Texas Constitution that we the people have all power. I need you to take that, have it on paper, and show it to the people and say, does it feel like we have all the power, or does it feel like government has the power? They're going to say, well, definitely we're being ruled over. Okay, show them that and say, so is this true? Is this how it's supposed to be? If it says right here we have all the power, then go to the Bills of Rights, show them what's in the Bill of Rights, then show them Section 29 and say, does it seem like government is overrunning us with power that they shouldn't be using against us? They're going to say, heck yeah. Show them Section 29, where it says that everything in this Bill of Rights is accepted out of the power of government, which means they don't have the power to do it. So the thing is, the reason you're feeling this way is because you haven't been around us and you haven't exercised the law yourself. Because if you
Right.
exercise the law yourself, you would be more than confident, because confidence without knowledge is faking, right? Confidence without substance is Instagram model, right?
Right.
You're just taking a picture of yourself. There's nothing on the inside. When you know what the freak the law is and you're standing on what's written in the law, now it's a different situation, because you can go in front of people and say, hey, did you know this was in your state constitution? Well, I didn't even know there was a state constitution. Did you know this is what the government is supposed to do? So when you understand the foundational principles, you'll know the steps because it's written in the foundational principles.
Right. I didn't mean to say that I was concerned about the classes. People are weary about my situation specifically because I'm getting ready to deliver notice to one of the local judges.
Don't talk about, so when you're going out teaching people, right?
Right.
Don't try to talk about your specific situation. Your specific situation is the same as everybody else's specific situation that's getting dogged out in your state. What you should be talking about is, how does the law work? Because the reason they're running you over in your specific situation is because nobody else knows how the law works. So when you get hurt or you get knocked down, the government does you wrong, there's nobody for you to run to because nobody took time to teach you or them.
Right.
So how do they know what's fair?
Well, I mean, like my immediate family and friends who were
Even your
aware
immediate family,
beforehand.
okay, let's just make this simple. Does your immediate family know the law?
No.
Do they know the state constitutions?
No.
Did they go to the same type of schools as you?
Definitely.
So what they gonna use to fight for you?
Nothing. That's
Nothing.
They look at me like I'm crazy when I say I'm not trying to get an attorney.
Okay, so are they not going to look at you like you're crazy when they don't? So when they don't know what the law is, right? So let me ask you this way, right? Somebody who does not know how to brush his teeth, right?
Okay.
What is the value of asking him to teach you how to brush your teeth?
There's no value in that.
Okay. So if everybody around you is doing things wrong and you're trying to convert people who think wrong, who don't want to think right because they know you, is it likely they're ever going to try to learn if they know you and don't look up to you as a teacher already?
Right. I keep telling them I'm going to show them because I have so much faith in it. What their concern is that my notices are going to be ignored and I'm going to be attacked like by the police here or, in some other judicial form.
Okay, so then maybe you shouldn't do it then if you're concerned. I think if you're concerned and you have fear or you're worried about something, don't do it. You believe in God, right? So
Right.
the Bible tells you what to do. So if you have fear, then be fearful.
Well, I'm not scared of them doing that. I just don't know what to do after that point. If that
Okay,
does
so here's the
happen.
deal. You're telling me about what your family thinks about you doing what you know is written in the law, right? So let me ask you, based on the Bible, does God say, don't do us right because you're worried about what man might do to you when you do us right?
Not.
Okay, so God don't say that, right?
Definitely not.
Okay, so the thing is, the Bible says if you're going to do things without faith, you shouldn't do it.
Right.
So if you're concerned or you're worried about what your family says about what's in the law, first of all, I don't force anybody to do anything. You should only do what God leads you to do, and I'm a nothing and a nobody. So the only thing I can tell you is that there's a law that exists that the people are supposed to use, and if we use it, we wouldn't have these problems. So if you're fearful about what your family says, maybe you should pray about it and ask God if you should just follow everything these people say and hope you get your kid back.
No, I don't think I should be listening to them at all. My fear is coming from myself, like a lack of. I feel like I'm always lacking the knowledge, like because
Okay.
what if like you said, you can't prove a negative. So how do I prove that he didn't respond? In which case, he agrees by acquiescence that all of my claims are true. How do I prove that he doesn't respond?
Well, what you should be proving is what the law says. So the law
Right.
says you have the right to your kids, right?
Right.
The Supreme Court, Sandra Day O'Connor 2000 case said you got the right to your kids, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she also said the state don't have the right to take your kids away from you and nobody can petition them to take your kids from you, right?
I haven't read into that one, but I trust you.
No, don't trust me. Never trust me. Only look at what you can prove. The Bible says, prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. So you got to prove it. You don't get to say Dave
In
said I trust him. It's
in
your
that case,
choice.
was it who versus who?
It doesn't matter. Sandra Day O'Connor said
Okay.
that nobody could give power to the state to the point where they could say, we can take your liberty interests away from you because somebody gave us permission to, and that gave us jurisdiction to do it.
Did you say
So,
that was 2000 or 02?
no, that's 2000. Sandra Day O'Connor in Troxel versus Granville, the year 2000, the state of Washington thought that they could give permission to any person to sign a petition to take your kid from you, and they had jurisdiction to do it. And then the Supreme Court blew their back out because they never had jurisdiction to do that. So let's just look at it. There were thousands of families who were fearful of their family not going along with them. And they let everything go for years and years and years and years. People got their kids taken over and over and over and over until the woman in the Troxel versus Granville case stood up. So I don't push people to stand up. I tell people what the truth is. I tell people what God says, and I say if it's in your will to fight, then fight. If not, don't fight. Right? Because the thing is that every single case that's been won in the Supreme Court took for somebody to stand against something wrong. No case in the Supreme Court ever was won by somebody who just laid down or who was scared to the point. See, it's okay to have some fear, right? Not to fear man. It's okay to have some fear, but then you got to overcome the fear with what God says, which is do not fear, right?
Right.
See, you fear gonna pop up real quick, and then you got to look and say, "Oh shucks, wait, what did God say? Don't fear." Okay, shucks, I realize I messed up. Let me correct this and do what God said. Now that's your choice, right? But also, what happens to me is I get agents who come to me all the time who act like they want to do law stuff, act like they want to do it, fake it, and then they say, well, I tried to use Dave's stuff and it didn't work. No, you didn't believe it. You didn't turn in documents. You didn't do this or that. And when I ask them, show me your affidavits you turned in. Oh, I don't have them right now. Well, you got your case file, go get it. Well, well, the way, oh, and show me where you sent it to the legislature like my process tells you to. Well, you got the green card receipts that I told you to get. Well, I don't have that either. Oh, okay. So the thing is, I've learned with the CPS world, I'm very careful with how I deal with people because not everybody's going to try. Not everybody's real. Some of the people I got their records where they work with other people who rape kids and they just fake like they want to deal with me. So I tell people, don't fight unless you want to fight. Don't get into it unless you want to get into it. If you don't want to study 100%, I'm not even the guy. But if you trust God and you want to do us right, it's going to be your choice to do us right. And every kid that we got returned, it was because the people used the law. I have never once, ever seen anybody get their kid back outside of waiting years or going through some hellish process so the government could get Adoption and Safe Family Act funds. I've never seen anybody get their kid back from doing nothing or siding with their family and not looking at what the law said. Anybody from, and here's the thing, the lady Annabella who came on here, who got her kid back from Phoenix Children's Hospital for that, got the kid back for that family. She used the affidavit. The kid came back right away. The woman who got the 9 kids back in Arizona, who had the same judge as me and same attorney, she used the law. Her kids, they killed the case. Her kids came right back home. And I don't know if y'all know, when I first dealt with Arizona, the kids were 1,200 kids a month that they were taking. After we went after Greg McKay with the law, they're down to 500 kids a month they take now. They're not even 1,200 anymore. And they had 3 heads of CPS in 2023. The main guy, Greg McKay, quit after he got exposed in front of Lynn Johnson. 29 days later, Sean McMillan tore his anus up. Also, um, they've had the 3, and now the Arizona legislature is only giving CPS 4 more years to exist by the fact that they ain't got nothing else. So that all happened because people fought, not because people laid down. So, it's an individual decision on what anybody's going to do, but to go talk to your legislature and show the dang law, um, you got to do it. Agreed. People have to know the law. Either that or they're a really good lawyer. Yeah, that's the thing. Sean McMillan was a freaking gangster who came to Arizona, and he knew that people didn't like him, and he was so concerned about bad actors trying to come after him. He had plane tickets and money ready for his family to fly out of the place so that they couldn't mess with him. It was that bad. But he
Right.
didn't he wasn't no punk. Like in the hood they call you a punk chick. He wasn't that. He was like, I'm in it to win it, and he made Arizona pay. The same lady who lied in my case, who got in trouble way back in before 2016, who was on the YouTube video, Sean McMillan, he's in here now, was the guy who was on the video tearing her anus up about them not having attorney warrants. Now, what if Sean was a punk chick who would not stand up and say, "Oh, did y'all take kids without warrants?"
It all would have failed.
Everything would have been messed up, and we wouldn't got as far as we did in Arizona. In the 20 years prior to 2017, AZ took 70,000 kids without warrants, is what Sean just said.
Golly.
70. So you got to think about this. Sean put his life on the line, right?
Uh-huh.
To stand up for people in Arizona and California. And they took 70,000 kids before him, before 2017. So you just imagine what's on this man's heart when he sees people getting hurt and destroyed, right? He said,
Right.
haha, thanks. I try not to be a punk, right? This dude walked into Arizona, into the federal courts, and stood his ground and used the law. And sometimes people try to be rough with him, right? But he didn't give up. So the thing is, what I say and what I teach ain't for everybody. It's for the people who freaking serious about knocking stuff out. And we got thousands of wins now. Nobody can deny the wins we got. Nobody can deny what the Supreme Court is doing. We told about it ahead of time.
Right. Did it always have to go that high?
No. We had a lot of people get their kids back in days, like literally days. They put in something like that lady who got her 4 kids back in the Midwest, Kansas, I think it was. She got her 4 kids back. They were on video singing Jesus song. Her kids were back within 30 days of them getting that document. And they realized, okay, we're breaking the law. Oh my gosh. And Sean said how many of those kids ended up missing. And here's the thing. They can take your kid, get rid of their social security number. Nobody ever know they were stolen. Because when they move your kid and put him in the system, they give him a new social security number, new records, right? New information. They can literally have that kid end up missing in Arizona within 6 months. If they end up missing, 2-year-old babies are missing right now. They just walked away, right? A 2-year-old baby ran away. 6-month-old baby ran away, right? Well, after 6 months, I grew up in a warehouse. We learned how to fight as kids. There you go. See? Now I'm gonna tell y'all, you got to think about it. This man stood up and fought. I fought. A couple of other people fought. He gave free classes in Arizona where people can just come learn what to do in the law and how to get people, how to set them up, right? But the thing is, what if he didn't? What if, he saw that, oh gosh, this is too hard, or other people. You got to realize he's one of the only attorneys. There's very few that blow backs out like this, right? So what if he just looked and said, well, I know the bar makes a lot of money with these cases. What if he's worried about they're going to take his license away from him? Right? What if he says, well, I got a family to feed, they got to eat. I know they could take my license for going against them. What if he did it? What if he punked out like that? Like, remember we had the election issues and attorneys were like, well, the way my license is set up, we ain't supposed to touch that.
Right.
That could be how it is, right? Most of the AWOL kids end up trafficked, he said. So the kids who leaving the system somehow, they end up in trafficking. And to prove it, the NEMIC report that came out said that 88% of the kids that the Fed found missing, they were from CPS and foster care, and they were found in the hand of traffickers.
Right.
So how is it that you can't get 88% of the kids to graduate, but the kids you find 88% of in trafficking come from CPS and foster care actively?
Mm-hmm.
Now look at what Sean McMillan said. He said he does worry about all that things. He do. I mean, he does worry, right? But here's the thing. He had some concern about it, right? Did he give up?
No. And I
Can I?
can't. Like, that's not an option for me. I'm not trying to say I want to fold, because it's not. I can't. Thinking about not seeing my children again is devastating. I can't. I mean, just being in my house is hard. I'm not throwing in the towel. But like I told you before, like I want to take this fight, like, for all the people of Texas, and I have already, like, imagined this like line of Goliaths against me, and I need to break that down.
Well,
And
let
I
me
feel
let
like,
me just tell you what happened to me so you understand. When they took my little guys, right? I didn't have any help or any idea of what to do. I didn't know all these laws. I didn't know that the 1935 Social Security Act that they base all their power off said you can't take kids. 1935 Social Security Act 11016D is the fundamental law for CPS around the country. It tells us a program and you can't take
right,
kids, right?
right,
Over the objection of either parent.
right,
The
or
woman,
local parentis.
yeah, the woman who made the dang law for them in 97 with Clinton,
Adoption and safe families.
yes, she never told us that it said that.
Oh, you're talking
So
about in Title 4 of that?
no, the woman who helped them write the law to take kids, well, that she said you could take kids. All right, catch you later, Sean. In the 1997 Act, it just says you can adopt kids faster who are already in the system, and you can get a fee for helping in the process, which is the federal funds they get. It never said you could take kids by law in the first place.
Right.
Because the original act said this shall not be construed as saying you could just go take kids. So now they got this federal program. It's a conflict of interest because the state constitution said if you're going to take life, liberty, or property, you have to do it in a court of record. Court of record was changed by definition between Black's Law 4th and 5th. Court of record says it must move by the common law, no statute or code. So if they take your kid based on a statute, it's a hoax.
Right.
This is why Sean McMillan blew their back out. He's like, listen, did you have a warrant? We don't get warrants. Right? He didn't let her get off of it. He trained in on her and deposed her and proved that they weren't getting warrants, even though the law says you have to. Right? So they just breaking the law all the time. But just think about it. He destroyed them in that one case, right? But you got to think that, like he said, there was a ton of kids before, and there's kids after, and there's only so many people like Sean McMillan in the whole nation. Like he had another dude and I think a lady that was super cool that were fighters too, that I remember stood in and helped him fight. But he's just a totally different breed of dude. Like he ain't normal. I'm just telling you, he is not normal. But the whole thing in a nutshell is me saying they took my little guys and I didn't know the law. So then they called themselves adopting my children, right? But I know in Black's Law 5th, it tells you that adoption, there's no historical adoption in the common law. It is completely statutory, right? So the administrative cases that they're doing right now that we forced the Supreme Court to do, and y'all saw me write the notices ahead of time with thousands of people and tell you everything they were going to do before they did it, right? So the Supreme Court said, oh, you can't just relabel a cause of action and use a legislative tribunal to take life, liberty, or property from a kid. You can't skip past the constitutional mandates. In a nutshell, that's what Sean McMillan broke their back over.
Right. You're talking about when the notice you gave and then Gorsuch responded in SEC?
So I gave one where Gorsuch responded on November 7th, 2022. I gave him 14 days. The Supreme Court on the 13th day, he told they weren't using actual courts. He told that
Right.
they were tipping the scales of justice. Yeah, that's it. Bertrand. Yep. Yep. That's it. So this happened. And then I did another one. Everybody saw it. He responded again. Then I did another one. And him and Kavanaugh both responded. I mean, like using the exact same words, legislative tribunal, right?
Right.
Tribunals that are not judicial, administrative cases, right? Administrative tribunals. Everything we put in them dang notices, he responded to directly, right? So now he's attacking attorneys. And what's crazy is you can see the scholarly attorneys across the country writing, saying the Supreme Court with the ATF cases and all these other things are going against us like 19-0. They're not even listening to Chevron doctrine anymore, like it don't even exist. They were crying. They didn't know that God allowed somebody else to learn the truth. And I was getting with my people and dropping that junk by the thousands straight to the Supreme Court. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to go to you for a case. I'm coming to you as one of the people with the right to remonstrate, with the right to show the law and instruct our servants. You're a servant. You got to see the law. You need to be noticed that y'all ain't doing what's right. And we understand now. And they responded and said stuff that let us know, yeah, we got you. I mean, he even said, we like to say we are actually doing things in actual courts, but and judicial tribunals, but we've been tipping our hands on the scales of justice, and not just for any any party, but for the biggest in America, the federal government. He
Right.
told. Then he said, we say we have impartial judges, but we've been allowing bureaucrats to say what the law is rather than doing our job. He ain't have a reason to freaking say that. He told on everybody. So the thing is, why do you think we told them you need to call some cases in to deal with this administrative garbage? And then immediately the Supreme Court started pulling in administrative cases just after we got done telling them about the ATF garbage, and they destroyed all that. So the very next thing we told them to do, they started doing, right? You see, that's what worries about this case. Once they know you'll fight, you become a target. Heck yeah, they know you'll become a target. And that's the thing, Sean. That's why I realized I couldn't just do it with just me, and I stopped dealing with the CPS world so much, because I don't know if you know Miko Hayes and all those guys who attack all the people who stand up against CPS. But guys like Miko Hayes, Randy Scott Davis, who we got his arrest records, he was his prosecution, the records of his prosecution. He was found guilty of not just one, but 2 cases of raping kids. And we have his record. This is the guy they were using in the CPS world to try to get us to stand down. They sent him after us, right? The other lady, Heidi M. Hall, she was arrested with her John, who got 20 years in prison or more. And what she got in trouble for was she was taking pictures of a little girl and preparing the pictures in lingerie and giving it to the Johns for marketing to rape the little baby, to the little girl, right? So she admitted in text messages that it was her. But now she works as an agent with traffickers who are actually working in the CPS movement. So when I would try to tell the people in the CPS world, like, look, guys, the law says that you cannot make a warrant without affidavits and sworn under the penalty of perjury or oath or affirmation, right? And you have to have probable cause. If you don't have that, then you can't issue a warrant, right? So
an order for removal is not the same thing, right?
No. Like, so Arizona used what's called a pickup order. That junk was garbage, right? It's the agency saying it's okay for you to pick up somebody's kid.
Wow.
Totally different thing, right? So it's not judicial. When you look at who signs your document, it's not going to say judge, whatever, from the Superior Court. It's going to say commissioner. It's a separate commission that has to do with neglect and abuse court under Title 42, 674, payment to states. You'll see the attorneys for the parents, the attorneys for the kids, the guardian ad litem, the CASA members are all getting paid. That was an awesome case. SCOTUS is slowly dismantling the administrative state. Amen. They're tearing us up quick. And if
Right.
you look at that SEC versus Jacarcy, it was awesome. Just the oral arguments were nuts. But go ahead. What are you going to say?
I have those printed out, the whole oral argument. I've read it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that they're trying to tell people out loud what the law really is and how we've gotten outside of it, you know? And
Right.
praise God, there's a lot of us fighting, but that's the only way things gonna flip and change, is if we get up and speak about it. Oh, and let me tell you, so I didn't have anybody to teach me how to take care of my little guys in a situation when it happened. So I had to go through learning, but I knew if I kiss these people's butt and let them get away with what they're doing, then what's going to happen is going to see, used to do a job. Yep, that's right. That's right. So I realized that if I kiss these people's butt, then it's going to continue, right? Now I'm gonna bet you something. I bet you that these cases that are happening with the administrative state, right, is going to prove that they're not making judicial determinations. Then I bet you they're going to return my little guys and everybody else's. I bet you. I bet you, right? And here's the thing, the people who are arrested unlawfully with agencies and they didn't go through proper due process, this is something that most people, that's right, Sean. He said one step at a time, they're giving back the liberty. That's the thing, guys. No liberty, no power is ever given back, ever, unless there is a demand and a fight, period. If somebody takes your power from you, and they're enjoying the power, they're not giving you that junk back unless there's a demand and a fight, right? If you win in a case and get tons of money for somebody trampling your right, there's never going to be money given to you unless you fight, you have a demand, and you fight. Now, here's something that I'm going to show y'all that nobody else I've ever seen has shown us. So if you look at the definition of due process in Black's Law Fifth, I just posted it in the chat bubble, right? Now, when they take something from you or they deal with things in law, if they're dealing with life, liberty, or property, they have to use something for due process that nobody's telling us. If you look in the freaking text, it tells you that if they're going to take something, they have to do it based on the settled maxims of law. One of the maxims of law is you can't take anything without a judicial warrant with somebody swearing with the oath, unless you're witnessing in front of you somebody getting beat up or killed right in front of your face. You can't go interfere and take somebody's kid or family member or anything else for that fact.
Right.
Right? So it tells you that the cases that they do against you must be based on the settled maxims of law, and that the maxims of law are the safeguard that they must use to take anything, to do any case against you to remove life, liberty, or property, right? So the very fact that nobody has told us that means that our world has been shifted upside down. So I can prove to you any adoption can be reversed, just like the ATF cases when I showed them that the original law said that they can't interfere with our private ownership of guns and property. That's not what the statute was for. I showed the maxims that say, and the state constitutions where they all agreed that the people have the right to defend and protect themselves. That's why they're talking about California and you can't limit the rounds people have and all that stuff. That's because that was in the document we sent them, right? The other things about people having the right to carry guns from state to state, the range case and all that stuff, and being a felon. The government tried to say that you lose your right to be one of the people who have all political rights if you had a case where you lost before and you became a felon. And then after they got notice and information of what the law is, they had to go back to the historical context. Now they said, "Oh no, sorry, there's nothing in the constitutions that grant authority for the government to remove your power to be one of the people with all rights just because you had a crime that you got prosecuted for in the past." Now what?
Right.
But what if that range dude would have what if he would have given up and just said, I lost in the lower court. Oh my gosh, I lost in the next court. These people don't want to give me a victory. What if he would have just said, I'm concerned, I'm worried, I don't want to do it?
Change wouldn't have been brought.
When it wouldn't have happened. God has given us major victory and we're winning in the thousands, right? And I'm a nobody, nothing dude from the ghetto. I didn't go to law school. So there's no reason that there's people on here from the UAW to businesses that should say, David beat our best attorneys, and he went after district attorneys, right? Prosecuting attorneys. He went after them, and they killed every single one of their cases in California, in Arizona, in New Jersey, and on Indian tribal land. Right? That
Right.
shouldn't happen. So the thing is, we just got to make a choice. I didn't know what I know now when I had my fight. Now, if I would have started studying like I had the feeling that I should have beforehand and got good, then maybe I wouldn't have had it happen this way. But God is good because I've suffered and I learned how to be a bad mama jamma through pain and agony. And now I'm on 112 kids returned that I know of now. Some people get kids back and don't tell me. I don't count those. But we got 112 back. So I'm not saying everybody's going to get their kids back and every government official going to be the same. That's right. All changes take substantial sacrifice and effort. That's Sean McMillan. And I'm telling y'all, this is the dude who taught me in the Bible where common law can be found the most. He told me when I was a freshman struggling, and it blew my mind that an attorney cared about the people enough to tell me one of the secret places where the common law is right there. Well, some people know, but it's right there. He opened my eyes. I'm like, holy moly. Right? But what if he didn't?
That would be a terrible thing. I'm glad
Yep.
that there's been so much courage involved. Can I
Heck
ask you
yeah.
one more question?
Uh-huh.
Would you have any reservations about outlining treason? See, because you said that it would be a commissioner signed or signing the paperwork. Mine says that it's a judge.
Well,
And
just because it says it's a judge doesn't mean it's a judge when they're acting in a capacity that's
oh, I
outside
got
of
you.
their judicial commission. So
Okay,
if you go
I
into
got
the
you.
maxims and you look, it says a judge isn't to act outside of their jurisdiction,
Okay,
right? Of their
I will.
commission. If
I'll
you
add
look,
that.
it tells you that. So when you look, even in like the law that they try to use about kids, right? If you look deep into it, you'll see where it talks about a court of competent jurisdiction,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a trial by jury is what you're supposed to deal with if under the common law in the state, right, in the county, if there's a situation where you broke the law. They should arrest you. You should
Right.
have a trial. There should be a jury that says you did wrong, and then they should take your kids away because you went to jail if there's not a family member to take them. But that ain't what they're doing. They got a program where they're making money and they have an incentive. So they have
Right.
what's called unclean hands. We can't even make a good decision because you get paid if you take them, right? What about just let the judge in the case and the jury be independent, right?
Right.
See if there's really some wrong done that you can articulate that says that the kid really got hurt and there's some evidence, right? They're not
Mm-hmm.
doing that in most cases. So you should never have a situation where somebody takes 1,000 kids, 1,200 kids a month, and you don't get 1,000 to 2,000 parents going to jail right away.
So I don't know if it's like this in other states, but when CPS comes in to remove a child in their Title 42 abuse and neglect unconstitutional courts, they have what's called an adversary hearing. So when the judge
Okay, stop.
gave the
First of all, there was no judge. Number two, when somebody comes into something called an adversary, right? Government officials are the trustees and servants of the people, right?
right,
Okay, so where do you get to be a trustee and a partner of an adversary at the same time? When you read the definition of treason, it says if you help or give aid and comfort to an adversary to the people, and there's two witnesses, that's treason, right?
right. That's
Go
Section 22 of ours.
go look at John Locke's two treatises of government, and he says when anytime any legislature creates laws that allow for them to take something from the people, life, liberty, or property, without due process of law by a jury of their peers, they're attacking the trust, right, that they're working in, and that is warring against the Constitution, and it's a dissolution of government in Section 211 down to 221, 222. You'll see it tell you plain as day.
So when the person signing it judge, commissioner, whatever, when he reads that I'm outlining treason.
No, you don't have to outline treason. You don't need to do that because a lot of crazy people say the word treason without understanding that psychologically, when you say treason, people make you think they think you're crazy. So all you need to do is take John Locke's work where he says you're warring against the Constitution if you make statutes to attack people's rights. You take what Gorsuch just said about using tribunals that are actually not courts, right? Without juries, without constitutionally mandated provisions, and you attack the people with that, he says that's unlawful. So usually when we got kids back, we showed them, hey, I know that you like to say you didn't know, right? When you look at yeah, see, he just showed it. I posted the deposition of Michael Riley. I can't see all his words, but I'm pretty sure he's going to post a deposition where he breaks down how they're not using the law correctly, or they made a mistake, or they didn't know the law when they should be trained. And you got to look at Sean McMillan on YouTube. You're going to see one he does with Karen Wagner in Arizona, where he proves they're not getting warrants, and he's going to break her down. And you're going to see her get this deer in a headlight look, right? He's
Who
going
did you
to
say that
tear
was?
deer in a headlight look.
No, I'm sorry. Who did you say the man was? Him and
Sean
Karen
McMillan. He's the
Wagner.
one. He's the one
Oh,
who's
okay.
messaging at the top. So Sean McMillan does a deposition, and he's showing how the law is being broken, and but he's doing it by asking her questions. And it's so bad, the attorney on the other side is trying to coach her so she won't answer the questions. And he's so much, look, Sean McMillan is so much of a light-skinned thug that he literally turns to the attorney and says, go ahead. If you want to coach her, just go ahead, coach her all you want to. Whatever, it's okay, just coach her. In the middle of the deposition, like, dude is a monster, right? He sees what's happened, he calls it like it is, no matter who it is, where it is, right? So he tears that dude's anus up. The dude's like, no, I'm not trying to coach her, something. No. Like, he realized he's caught. So not only did he break the lady's back with the law, he also broke the freaking attorney's back with what he was doing wrong. So if you just watch that video, you're going to realize some of the things that he's asking that's like Jesus questions. He's asking questions that if you answer one of those questions one way or the other, your anus is dead, right? And he starts off calm. You're gonna hear him. He's got this real calm voice, and then he starts working into your anus and break your back out, and he's still calm and nice. So what happens is you're gonna see them flip, and you're gonna see her gaze where she's looking into herself because she's having a life and death experience where she realizes, holy crap, this dude just bust my anus and I can't even talk. So she's stuck, literally stuck. You just got to watch it to see it and understand what's happening. And see, it's a blessing because, like, if you watch me fight against Clements or you watch me fight against some of the attorneys that are bad guys, you'll see I'll ask them questions and they'll get that same, or judges, they'll get that same look because they know, oh, shucks, this Negro knows, right? He knows exactly what I'm doing and he's asking me questions that's forcing me to tell. Sean does the same exact thing. And if you get to witness it, you'll learn tons of ways where they're breaking the law. Light skinned thug. I almost call you a light skinned thug Negro, but I was being nice. But I'm telling you, he's a bad mamma jamma, and it'll help you to learn. And this is the thing, like when you're trying to be the best in law, you should be looking at real law fighters that actually stand up by what they believe and watch the interactions, watch how the government is acting. Because the thing is, when you watch a jury, right? A jury will watch and they'll see little cues. Like if you shrug your shoulders and turn your head when somebody asks you a question, like they can see you're lying. They're like, oh, that looked like some bull right there, right? That'll change their perception of you. So when somebody asks you a question and you freaking freeze up like you were on that movie Frozen, I'm telling you, you know something is up, you know? Sean, right? So I think everybody should watch that. Like I showed y'all that Georgia case where the judge said, if you think that the state can get a judge to just take somebody's kid because he wants to, or he don't trust them or whatever. He make the decision by himself. It ain't no jury. He said, I'm just going to tell you, the judge said this, the whole freaking Georgia statute, if that's what y'all think is unconstitutional. He literally said the whole freaking thing in the appeals court, right? So we got to understand, guys, that there's people who we can spend our time watching. There's things that we can watch. There's things in the law that we can spend our time learning that makes us so secure in what we say that we don't get lost or ran over. That's what we need to do. But my battery's about to die. Juror watch and see everything. Yep. See, he said juror watch and see everything. You got to keep your eyes on what's happening and learn, guys. One thing that I always like to do is learn the psychology behind what I'm seeing, right? When I see somebody ask a question a certain way, if I'm blessed to be able to talk to them, I'm like, hey, why'd you ask that? Why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? Right? Oh my gosh, right? What about this? What about that? That's a blessing when you can gain experience by somebody else's wisdom and you don't have to suffer through your own and getting the experience and gaining it. You want to get the experience too, but you want to gain the wisdom in a safe place from somebody else's experience, right? Take my word for it. But with that, I'm going to let Pilser speak and then we're going to get ready to rock and roll, guys. I want to get on and let y'all know this Texas junk was a hoax. I learned so much on YouTube. Amen. Guys, one of the baddest attorneys I've ever met in my entire life said he learned so much on YouTube. That's a real deal Holyfield type dude right there to tell y'all that. Now, y'all know I got these cars that I build that are fast as heck, that burn the tires at 45, 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour, right? You push the gas down and sometimes that mud is like screw traction. I'm going for the gusto. Well, I build these cars with this much power. I learned in 2009, 2010, starting on YouTube, right? So the thing is that I race against cars that professional engineers have built. I've raced against cars that are super fast, Corvettes, Vipers, whatever. And I demolish stuff with stuff I build at home in my garage because I learned, right? I learned how to take a little head on the engine and get a grinder and port it and get a smoother grinder, right? And then get some sandpaper, right, on the front of a Dremel. And I learned how to do things that made me mighty in what I do, right? But I didn't go to school for it, right? So here is one of the guys one of the most brilliant I've ever seen who went to school, and he said he learns a ton on YouTube. So don't sleep on knowledge and wisdom. He's a smart man and he wins. So we should take that into consideration because a lot of people say, oh, well, don't look at stuff on the internet. Well, what if the law library is on the internet? Oh yeah, Sean, I build muscle cars. You like muscle cars too? I'll send you a video of one of my 50s cars with twin turbo making a little hit. It's cruising at 45 and I just step in the gas for a second. You see the car jump. It was going like 45 or 50 in Mexico. And you see it jump so freaking hard and violently is unbelievable. And the car literally sometimes will blow the tires off at 60, 70. Yeah, I'll let you drive it. If you drive this thing, I guarantee you. But you got to get telegrams so nobody knows when you're coming. Because, sometimes the agents be trying to read my message and see where I'm at. But look, if you drive this thing, Sean, if you think a Viper is fast or a Corvette is fast, I promise you, you hit the gas in this thing one time, it'll make you take your foot off the gas. Hey, this thing is so gangster, Sean, that it'll tell you, like, look, I'm a bad mama jamma. We have fun. Ooh, an M6. I love those things. Right? This car will tell you, I'm a bad mama jamma, but at any given moment, I'll kill your anus if you ain't watching. Right? The car literally lets you know, like, play with me, I'll kill you. Right? We can win as many races you want to, but you play, you'll die. And look, I don't know if you know, Sean, but I had a nitrous Hayabusa 1340. I had a built motor. My phone about to die. I had a built motor stroker. A built motor ZX14 on nitrous too, and a built motor long swing arm Busa. And none of those were as fast as this twin turbo small block. I even had a big block with big torque.
Uh-oh. Dave didn't get to his charger in time.
I got it. Go ahead, Pilsner. My phone almost died. I had to switch and throw a charger in. 500
Okay.
horsepower, 10 cylinders. Woo!
Well, I just wanted to mention something to Skyla when she's talking to people. When I noticed there's two types that are interested in the real law, and there's the overly political people who say they're Christians, but they believe in man's going to solve all their problems, and then there's the Christian crowd that believes we're in the end times and they need to submit to authority and that they're going to be, you know, a one world government no matter what. And so they just tuck under and they think that they're underneath our servants. You know, it's hard to. So it's when you go into a Christian crowd, they're going to believe you on God given rights, but they're not going to understand how to turn things the right side up because it's been turned upside down in their mind that they're, you know, that we're all under the authority of our servants, right? And convincing them that, I've noticed, is it takes some doing. With the other crowd, they want force. They want to use the Second Amendment right away. They don't want to use the First Amendment, and you have to teach them God. So I don't, you know, Dave, you've got a lot more experience dealing with different types of people, and you got a degree in psychology, so you know way more than that. But that's what I've observed over this last year talking to people about these things. And then there's the crowd that doesn't care. They're just they're so ignorant, or they're agents. They act like agents if they're ignorant, and they just want to shut you down all the time. And you just dust off your feet and walk away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Don't spend too much of your time trying to prove to the people who don't want to see the truth. Like, that's a waste of time. Like, I have thousands upon thousands and thousands and thousands of people I studied with, learned with, taught. I mean, tens of thousands of people who put in notices and affidavits and made change around the country. And I never, like the Bible says with the gospel, right? The Bible tells you to tell them, but if they don't want to hear, dust off your feet and walk away. Even with your own family, when you have a mission and something to do, and you understand what it says, and it's clear, you stand on what's right, and let God deal with the rest. But you stand on what's right and you go after with everything you have, right? You don't like halfway go into what you're doing. You don't halfway go after your dreams. You don't halfway start a business, right? You don't halfway learn to cook. Most of the world will do things halfway, right? So if people are going to play a game and they want to go halfway, it might not be they may not ever listen. Then some people may not listen until it happens to them. But it's not your duty to judge how fast somebody's going to listen. It's not your duty to lower yourself and your skill and your power because other people don't want to hear. It don't freaking matter if they want to stand next to you or not. What matters is are you going to go to sleep knowing you were a freaking monster that day and you went after everything you could do? That's the difference, right? Between everything, right? I played Division 1 football and basketball. I punished 6'7", 6'8", 300, 350-pound dudes who thought they were monsters with my little light voice, right? My testosterone lacking self, right? I beat the brakes off of guys in football and basketball, guys who made it to the NFL, tore them up. And they knew when I come, there's not going to be a show off day that week, period, right? You might do something to somebody else, but if I'm in front of you, you're just not doing anything this down, right? And that's how I live my life. And so when it comes to studying the law, I went 14 to 16 hours a day with the earphone in my right ear, listening to the Bible and the law, watching law videos. I would get PDFs of the law and play that junk on an app that lets you play it in your ear 14 to 16 hours a day for 2 days, 2 years straight, no break. I kept studying in the third year. You should avoid lambs, only associate with lions. That's right. That's the thing. You can help weak people and give them what they need. You can give them provision, but you can't make somebody who's weak, who don't want to fight. This is why in the Bible, you see God will take people who have fear and send them home. He's like, look, if you're scared, go home. Right? He would literally send away people who weren't ready to fight. And this is one problem in America. we try to get we start talking stupid stuff like we all need to be together to fight. Nah, shut the freak up. Some of us gonna just be monsters, right? That's right. Shad said keep your circle tight. And you'll notice I don't just invite everybody to come deal with us in the groups. If somebody come and they're negative Nancy, I'm like, sorry, you gotta go. You don't love me, Dave don't care for me, you'll kick me out? Heck yeah, I will. If you gonna go against what's right, if you gonna try to tell us we ain't got no hope, go sit your anus in a corner and we'll fight like monsters. And when we get everything back, we'll give you your part. But we not looking to you, right? You don't want to fight, we're not looking to you to fight. And you can learn that in the ghetto, right? I've had situations in the ghetto where there's 5 of us walking down the street and a gang comes and people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna do this or do that to you," and you got 5 people with you, and 3 or 4 of them run, and you're by yourself, right? As soon as you deal with a situation like that, you start to understand real quick. Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody's gonna stand next to you in battle, right? Not everybody's gonna stand on the truth. A lot of people quit. A lot of people get weak. So we can't make our battle about what everybody else thinks or want to do. Sometimes we're just blessed to be able to learn that we need to fight. We put in the right situation, we make some decisions since we're younger. Our parents make some decisions. Next thing you know, we end up older and we got a ton of stuff put together in us that makes us qualified to do a lot of stuff, even though we never saw ourselves there. Right. And then we start fighting, and then people who see you fighting and going to the top, they start looking and saying, well, I can't go with you there. Well, that's fine. God didn't make you to go here with me. This ain't part of your vision. This ain't part of your dreams. This ain't part of your goals. You ain't never stood on what's real. You ain't never stood on doing what's right. So why would I ever accept you? I'll love you. I'll send you some chicken wings if you need some, but I'm not looking at you to fight. Right. And that's how we got to live. So, with that being said, y'all, I love y'all all. I pray that you guys are enjoying your night and that you look and see that that case ain't what we thought it was. This happens a lot. Big Sean, if you could, I sent you my whip in the purple pill where you were posting comments, and it's on TikTok. I know a lot of men don't watch TikTok, but please watch it because that's the hot rod. You're going to see it taking off 45, 50 or so, and then you're going to see it. I'm going to step in the gas and it's going to get jiggy. And you need some headphones on to hear the noise because the multitude of noises that comes out of this roaring, high, good revving twin turbo beast is just going to get you all excited or whatever. And then you really want to drive it, and maybe it'll be ready to do wheelies on the street. But since you're an attorney, I know you don't break the law, so we'll go to Mexico. Oh no, don't worry about the federales. I'm gonna stop. All right. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna let this space be yours. I love y'all. Y'all stay on travel, and you gotta have chicken wings, Shy. Like if you're a light skinned brother, you gotta have chicken wings. We gotta get you into some like chicken and waffles or whatever. I know it don't fit. It don't seem like it fit together, but it's super good, dude. Some you gotta have some greens, some macaroni and cheese, and cornbread. Oh my gosh, bro, that junk is off the hook. For those of you who don't know about collard greens, cornbread, and chicken. I know they say chicken is a brother thing, right? But I promise you, after you eat chicken, if you got issues on the farm, right, and you got a tree that's a little bit too high, maybe like 9, 10 feet off the ground, and you can't get apples off of it, eat some watermelon and chicken, do some toe raises. I guarantee you, you'll be able to fly like Michael Jordan. The apples will be so amazing when you can jump high enough to get them off the tree. Don't wait until they fall off the tree and get spoiled. You got to be able to jump, up your jump game. All right. Chicken, waffles, collard greens. That's the brother secret. Woo. All right, y'all. So anyway, I will let y'all go. Y'all rock and roll. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be blessed. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.